with uncertainty, of course, there's going to be a huge piece of that pie that we don't know what's going to happen. And so, would you say the first step then is to acknowledge that, and then seek extra data points to bring in a bigger, better picture of what's going on?
Yeah, look, when it's uncertain, you don't. Yeah, a great example. I've done this in tons of corporate environments, John. Um, People tend to come up with forecasts, right? Or what are your sales going to be next year? Well, I've got this spreadsheet, I've got the sales pipeline, it pops out. And so my midpoint, I think I'm going to do a 10% larger number in revenue. So I'll do $1.7 million of revenue as my sales quota next year. Great. That's just 1.7. We don't know. How about we say 1.5 to 1.9? Is that possible? Can we do a range instead of a point estimate? When you get a point estimate, you get all sorts of anchoring biases that come into play. People insufficiently adjust. When you force them to put a range, now you can have a conversation about the uncertainty. What's going to drive it towards the higher end? What's going to drive it towards the lower end? What don't we know? Right? So that's one thing. The other thing I encourage folks to do is don't get anchored on a point estimate. Think in terms of ranges. But another thing I tell a lot of leaders to do is read fiction. And you can say, what? Yeah, I want people to read fiction. Wait, hold on. I'm too busy. I've got to read the latest business book. I have this book on data analytics I got to learn. I've got this quarterly strategy update coming up. I want to understand this consultant's thinking. I'm meeting this person as a potential board candidate. They wrote a book. I got to read their book. I don't have time to read fiction. Well, I want to suggest to you that fiction is actually what helps broaden the mind, actually helps you widen your horizon of possibility, actually gets you thinking differently, actually helps you even in domains that you're not thinking about. In the course of reading that fiction, it helps you think about things in your domain of interest. And so there's a lot of really interesting work on fiction and how it could be helpful to enhancing creativity, awareness, empathy, all sorts of things that are useful for navigating uncertainty. So I've become a big believer that reading fiction and different scenarios is useful. And by the way, that applies then to watching movies. If I'm in a rut of thinking or I feel like I'm not coming up with interesting enough scenarios, I will occasionally, and I don't apologize for it, especially since I work for myself, I don't have to, but I'll occasionally just go watch a movie in the middle of the day. Well, I'm just in a rut. I can't get there. Fine. Yeah, I'm going to go back and turn on a movie about some fantastic scenario. Great. That's okay.